Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is.
Why don't you kind of lay out for me what it is that you found?
Yeah, let me, I think a lot of people think because the first evidence had some 2020 that our goal was to look at the 2020 election. It wasn't. What we did is look at a 20-year window of intelligence about the security of our elections. Were foreigners interfering? Were domestic players interfering? Were there vulnerabilities that we know about that we had not fixed? So we look all the way from 2006, where the first warnings about Venezuela and compromisable vending machines started to flow to the CIA, all the way to 2026. The reason the year 2020 stands out is it was a big focal point of the president's speech, but only because it's in that year that some of the largest vulnerabilities in American election history are discovered during that election. And despite the fact that they're discovered, career people in the intelligence community made conscious decisions to keep that information from their president and their Congress and the American public. As we pointed out in the documents we released last month, there were intelligence officers bragging that they were withholding information from the president or from the Congress. They would use words like politics, or one of them boasted that they were running a shadow government to keep election intelligence from the president, the public, and the Congress. Others talked about it boggles the mind that we're going to keep the president in the dark on this. In a few days, we're going to release a document that shows just how high up the suppression of government intelligence about election threats was. It goes very high in the career infrastructure of the intelligence community. So all of it's flowing in, and for the first time in a very long time, the intelligence community is not reporting it to policymakers, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, the Congress, who, by the way, is partly in Democratic hands at that point. It's a very troubling trend line to see politics supplant national security as the reason whether or not something gets briefed to a president. There's a memo where you see one of these spy agencies bragging that we're massaging the PDB, i.e. the Presidential Daily Brief, the way that the president gets his intelligence every day, to keep out the election stuff. That is, as one person said, mind-boggling in their own emails. They were keeping our president, our voters, and our Congress in the dark. And by the way, that what those vulnerabilities showed is that for 6 years, from 2020 to 2026, we had a glass chin of election security. We were being told we were in the most secure election environment in history, and the intelligence showed just the opposite. There are 4 key components of what the intelligence showed, and until the president made it public in July, most Americans, most members of Congress, and most presidents did not know about it because the intelligence community chose not to tell them.
Hello. Were foreigners interfering in the election? Going back to 2006, he said 2006. What happened in 2006? But CIPAS looked under the covers for a company called Sequoia Voting Systems. The chief architect was none other than Eric Coomer. He was hired after nearly going to prison, his own words, in 2004 for crimes that he committed in California. He had a really good lawyer, he said, and probably the help of the CIA or some other organization. You never really know at this point who the bad actors are. A self-proclaimed skinhead and a guy that said, hey, don't worry about it, Trump's not going to win. I made sure of it, that guy. And he will go down as one of the people that hid behind, kind of like having a shadow government. You have a shadow company run by shadow people inside of it. I truly believe that that's what happened here. Were foreigners interfering? You had Venezuela that had Smartmatic. It set up a shell company in Florida. And, that they knew that they were stealing elections in Venezuela to put Hugo Chavez in his seat. Communism ran that entire country, third biggest economy in the world, turned into the biggest hellhole for its own people. kind of like what they're doing in the United States. Then they came in and bought out Sequoia voting systems, 17 states and the District of Columbia. Eric Coomer was brought in as a chief architect. He wrote a dissertation that pretty much aligns with what you would do with PID controllers, nuclear energy decay models. You know, studying that, by the way, has kind of been like watching paint dry. Goes along with his personality, though. Were domestic players interfering? Were the vulnerabilities that we knew that they didn't get fixed? Well, we obviously have that. We have the reports that show that they had these vulnerabilities. They were inside the report and said the vulnerabilities were there. This dated all the way back to 2006, 2008, 2010, 2012. None of those changes were made, and basically they ran around the entire country cheating and stealing elections at will at every level of government in all 50 states. They use the same substructure in ES&S, Smartmatic, Hart InterCivic, Dominion voting systems, clear ballot. Doesn't matter where you look. We have enough evidence collectively, if you put together all of the pieces, to show that this was a concerted effort, that this was a conspiracy. RICO would I mean, if you would not use RICO on this, I don't know where you'd use RICO violations at, that they worked together to steal the voice and to steal the sovereignty of an entire nation. And these are bad players. These are people that infiltrated things like USAID, created organizations like the SPLC, the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, and created dog whistles and beat sticks in the media that allowed for them to attack people like me and others. They put judges in positions of trust and authority, and they use those judges in those positions to beat back, destroy, persecute good Americans. But let's not get it twisted. We also use that same information inside of the Trump administration in order to tell President Trump that his friends were his enemies. Everything from Elon Musk running an operation and telling President Trump that Elon's doing this or Elon's doing that when he wasn't, to people in his deal telling him that Thomas Massey was working against him when, frankly, all he wanted to do was make sure he stayed laser focused on America first. There's Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's what's his name? The other one that we got, Tucker Carlson, who stood up for President Trump. Everyone did in 2024. Americans lost their lives. The J6ers were persecuted to a place where they not only lost their life, but they haven't been able to recover, living out of their cars. I wanted to make sure that what Brandon Strucka said was true, so I went and checked it out. Are there people that are currently, were J6ers, that were thrown in prison, key thrown away, raped, murdered, you name it. It happened to Americans on J6 and afterwards. And they used novel case law in order to attack and persecute Americans. Now, at the same time, you had people inside of the independent media that were on our side, right? The Julie Kellys of the world that were out there trying to build their street cred, talking about how J6ers were treated unfairly. You had congressmen that showed up on the steps of the jail cell saying, "We're here. We want to make sure that you know that we're for you." Yet they did nothing, used none of their power in order to ease the pain against J6ers the entire 4 years that Biden was in office. We knew that the auto pen was used. It was used to give people complete immunity. Now, that's nothing different than what we've seen before. Let's be honest. That's not different. That's the same. See, they use the same system in order to just steal from the people and try to convince you there's nothing to see here. They did it during COVID. They did it during the Gulf War. They did it in all these different environments. And President Trump is fed one thing on one side so that they can have the media attack it, but they had to have people on our side. They had to have the John Solomons of the world that allow for you to sniff the edges. Nothing that John Solomon said is new. This is stuff we've been talking about for 6 years. I built a report in January of 2005. It's called a bluff. I sent it to everyone. And I was like, this is how they're stealing the elections, and this is what we must do. And slowly but surely, it's like a truck trying to turn around in the middle of the street with no motor, just hoping that the sun's rays will actually push it one direction and then the other. It's all lies. It's all lies in order to basically run out the clock. And sooner or later, when the clock gets run out, The people have to go and try to sit down in chairs, like musical chairs. The only people that get to sit down are the ones that are stuffing their faces with power and money at the expense of the American people. We're $40 trillion in debt, and we don't even know if the $40 trillion is actually real. I want to show you another clip from the same interview of John Solomon. I'm going to show you how much he moves the goalposts. And not only does he move the goalposts, but he talks about things related to the rigging of our own elections. He just keeps moving them. Go ahead and play it.
In September of 2020, about 9 months after the assessment was made that there are machine vulnerabilities, CIA observed Venezuela conducting an experiment where they were able to successfully breach an election counting machine and change the votes. And by the way, change the vote counts without it being detectable in a post-audit or in a post-image review. How did they do that? They had an election machine with ballots and counts on it. As it was working its way up to the vote counting area, a mirror server was created. Somebody sucked the real votes off, placed fake votes in, and then sent them up so that when the audit occurred, the fake votes would be the only ballots you could see. You couldn't see the original ballots as they were casted by that. Now, that was in a controlled environment in Venezuela. It didn't happen during a real election. It happened during election testing. But its significance to the intelligence community was, hey, this isn't hypothetical anymore. Someone figured out a way to do this. And the CIA was extremely concerned about it. But guess what? Our president, our Congress, and the American people didn't get told. And for 6 more years, we went through thinking our machines weren't hackable when they were.
That's not true. None of what he said is true. Actually, 50% of what he said is true, because you always have to have a little bit of truth that you tie into it. It's funny, they said that in September of 2020, they were in and trying to see if they could flip elections. They didn't talk about the deep relationships between a guy named Eric Coomer, the Serbians, and the Venezuelans who were put in positions of trust and authority dating back to 2006. We didn't talk about what happened in the municipal election in 2006, that led CFIUS to get involved in what was happening in Cook County in Chicago, Illinois. We didn't talk about the fact that 24 Venezuelans were brought from Venezuela to Cook County in order to run elections underneath Sequoia voting systems, or the fact that many of those same people are deeply embedded in our election systems today. They didn't talk about the people like Matt Crane in Colorado, who ran as the county clerk and recorder for Arapahoe County. His wife worked for Dominion for nearly 20 years. And the things that he said about you'd only see the fake ballots, well, we knew about that in 2022 when we deeply dove into the Mesa County reports, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those same reports, by the way, that were used to put Tina Peters in prison. Those same reports where we have recordings, and those recordings show that the investigators for the state of Colorado not only acted inappropriately, but worked in whatever capacity they could in order to say, Matt Crane, do me a favor. Will you do me a favor? Will you tell me how we can discredit these reports, these Mesa County reports, by experts? And then the investigators ran back, and you had Dan Rubenstein, the traitor and betrayer in Mesa County, who saw Tina Peters spend over almost 2 years in prison. They went back to Dominion and said, okay, tell me that everything's okay. Went back to the crime scene, and the people that were responsible for stealing the elections said, pinky swear there's nothing wrong. Eric Coomer, the guy that said, don't worry about it, Trump's not gonna win, I made effing sure of it. A guy that in his own admission, in his own deposition, stated that he wasn't public facing at all. Nobody ever knew he worked for the company. There was nothing really out there. But he was a spokesperson when he wanted to get on TV, or he wanted to go and sit in front of people and sell the very system that was used to defraud the American people. And let's not forget all of the other things that have happened. All of the other things over the last 6 years. See, we knew all of this over the last 6 years. But John Solomon comes out and acts like it's new, and then says that the CIA is now concerned. Now the CIA is the good guy. They were concerned about what was happening in our elections. Pinky swear, they were. They weren't involved in it. It sheds a light on what happened with Raul Castro, the guy that over in Romania, who came to me and said, hey, look, I've got all this information. We went over there, grabbed that information, handed it over to Congress, and you know what they did? They didn't do dick with it. They did nothing with it. We got Mark Cook here. I'm going to bring him in, but I got a couple other things to actually go through. You have Julie Kellys and the Dan Bonginos, and you have the Steve Bannon. You have all these people, and all of you want to sit here and tell me, Joe, these are good people. Now, you've already made up your mind. I have made up my mind. Only I have access to things that you don't have access to. I'm not willing to forgive things like being a pedophile's friend. I won't do it. I get attacked from every side, every angle. Everyone says, Joe, you're a little too harsh. You tell the truth in ways that maybe you should calm down what you say. Even Mark Cook has said that to me. Tina Peters has said that to me. But those don't get, those aren't the conversations that get us to the place where we can actually let's peel the onion all the way back. Let's look at the devil up front and personal, and let's never stand on the side of Team Evil. You have Dan Bongino that literally called people grifters. Mark, welcome to the show, buddy.
I need about 2 minutes.
Good. I'll take the 2 minutes in order to have Dan Bongino to show you Dan Bongino on his own show. And then I'm going to talk about some of the other things related to that, Dan Bongino. See, this is not a fight between us on our own side. This is a recognition of people that say they're on our side that are absolute trash. Dan Bongino, he blocked me a long time ago. He had an opportunity going in as a deputy director of the FBI. He had the opportunity when he went in there to do something meaningful. And the only thing he did is whine and complain and go on Fox and talk about the fact that he couldn't spend any time with his wife. That's what he did. Oh, and because he was in this like club of influencers that give each other credit, street cred. They stack it on each other. So Dan Bongino gives Julie Kelly, hey, go follow Julie Kelly. Julie Kelly goes over here and says, hey, go follow this person. Yeah, we're all in this together, like a big clan, because we got the plan. And we want to piss on the American people. And everybody's like, man, I can't believe that about Dan Bongino. Please tell me what he did in his time in the FBI. And then he called J6ers babies. Yeah, got mad because Owen Schroyer went on to Brandon Strucka's podcast and started talking about some of the disparities that are going on across the mill. Because we had a plan. 2024 was to get President Trump elected. It was to make sure we put a stop to the election machines and do the things that were necessary. We had a plan. And people in his administration stood in the middle of that. Traitors like Pam Bondi. Todd Blanche is now at the head of the DOJ. He is the head, the attorney general. He can make some significant changes. But instead, what we get truth light. We get people to lie to us and the sacrifices that we've made, and J6ers that live out of their cars. When I found that out, I was disgusted. Or the benefits that were denied to people because they had a commutation of their sentences rather than giving them a full pardon. People that served their country for not 10 years, 15 years, but 20 years. Disabled veterans that were treated like discarded trash. And you want to talk Dan Bongino? There you go. Fuck off. You're not a good person. You're grifter trash. That's what you are. And man, let me just tell you something. I look at Kardashian Patel and you can say he's doing a great job, talks about the fact that crime's down 20%. Crime was up 80%. So now it's down 20 on the 80. And how about the fact that you can't take credit for it? Let's give credit where credit is due. Let's go over there to Tom Holman and said, hey, ICE did their job until they were told they couldn't. Oh, that's right. By the same DOJ who says they're here to help on our side. And I want to remind you that we have the presidency, we have the Senate, and we have the House. And we could get rid of all of this problem tomorrow. We don't have to debate the ridiculous. We don't have to be and sit here and say, well, we're only going to tear a corner of the Band-Aid off because it takes time. No, you rip the whole damn Band-Aid off. Well, Joe, it's tied to the economics of our country. But is it? Is it though? And it might be. But if the American people were handed back their voice, they'd be more than happy to Wreck-It Ralph on a lot of other things. Because frankly, they're suffering right now. Here's Dan Bongino on his show yesterday. Oh, Mr. Rumble, by the way. This is Mr. Rumble, because Rumble, by the way, does everything they can to suppress our voice on Rumble. And then they lie about it. And then they lie about it. And then when they're done, they lie about it again. Go play it.
The doomers and grifters who were telling you last night that there's going to be some huge upset in Florida. If you were following a lot of the traffic on X and you're not immune to ops like we are on this show at this point, you would have thought to yourself, wow, this race is really close. It was not. You've seen this in other races as well. You saw it with the boner phone race and all this other stuff where people are being told, oh my gosh, this is some mass movement. Oh my gosh, look, this collective guilt stuff. Oh, the kids hate everyone now and we should leverage that. No, we should not. No, we should not. These groups of people telling you this, ladies and gentlemen, have a 100% success rate of failure. These people telling you this, it's doom and gloom. Trump sucks. MAGA's done. Country's over. Data center's going to kill you. This is going to kill you. That's going to kill you. A lot of this stuff is not genuine. It's just not. Some of it is. A lot of them are legitimate concerns. Friends of mine reach out. It happens a lot. And you know who you are, and I don't blame you because I've thought this too. People reach out to me and they say, but Dan, it's not worth it. I go on X and I post some simple thing and I get this bot army of people attacking me who are into the collective guilt. The Jews did it and all this other stuff. Folks, I just want you to remember something. That's BS, okay? It is. It's BS.
So let's be honest about what's BS. See, he did this thing called conflation. He conflated two things at once and tried to indict the character of people based on their attacking Trump or that MAGA's dead. He's creating something that's not true. Make America Great Again is not dead. Now, the people that are on Make America Great Again, they've stayed on the same path. They've never moved off it. They didn't move 1 degree. What he is right about a few things is that people like him have a success rate of 0. Now, you could talk about my success rate. You were a Secret Service agent. I built a company from nothing, a cocktail napkin. I did it not once, but I did it twice, 3 times. As after literally blowing up a company, having someone steal $10.5 million from me, decide to step away from business for 6 years. Yeah, I'll put my resume up against yours any day of the week. I employed people, did things to help people, put it all on the line. And so did a lot of Americans. Tina did too. There's so many people that did. And you had people in this movement that grifted and stole $3 million stolen from me. I mean, just rewriting history, lying about it all the way through. And you stepped in as a deputy director, and then you couldn't even you quit like a little bitch. And then you make fun of people like you're some sort of like you're the moral authority. You're not. And then you make fun of Owen's hairstyle, what it looks like. Your forehead is on the back of your brain, bro. I don't even know how you could sit there and make fun of people. How do they all look like this? You go to just dog whistles and nobody's against Israel. We're against killing innocent people. It's pretty simple. We don't have selective humanity. And there is no like, you're an anti-Semite because of it. But you conflate it because you want people to stand on your side and, oh yeah, you got to stand up for Israel. The people of Israel feel like they're held hostage the same way that people in the United States feel like they don't have a voice either. And you lie. And then you lie again. And all you do is lie. And you sit here with your shekels that you have stuffed in your pocket because God knows you had plenty of Rumble stock. And again, you walked around just stacking dollars all around yourself, making yourself look good. While you're talking about the fact that people are failures, are you kidding me? I've spent $10 million over the last 6 years. I've lost $10 million, not counting the other stuff that's happened to me. I paid for people to take care of people when I didn't even have the money to do it. And I got sued and tattooed. And you know what? It's okay. I'm not a victim. I chose that life. I chose to stand up for the American people. But you choose your little clan, your little group. You have no compassion for people. You look down on them as you're better than them. You're not. You're not. You look like an alien. You want to sit here and talk about the fact that, you know, someone looks bad. You want to attack every part. You went after Mike Flynn. Like he's anti-Trump. No, he's not. He's asking that we get back on track and do the things that we should be doing. But no. You just go through a block fest, and then when you see something you like, you unblock them just so that you can say something to them because you're petty. You're petty. It's the same thing about suing Kyle Seraphin and standing on the side of Julie Kelly, a known person, and then you went and endorsed a Democrat. Like, what is wrong with you? Everybody wants to say that it's us. Oh, it's not you, it's me. No. It's you. It's you. And then you use your ways of shutting people down and call Chris over at Rumble and say, hey, do me a favor. I need to shut down some people. Like you make this like a poor man's high school reunion for some debate club. It's sick. And I said this morning, I don't care what people think of me. I'll also say this. I gave almost 50 grand to the Special Forces Foundation because I needed it. That I didn't have. Why did I do it? Because I'm willing to suffer a little bit to help people that actually stand for something. So you don't stand for anything other than the shekels you're stuffing in your shirt while you say you stand for America. No, you stand for yourself. Bring Mark in.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm in a rainstorm,
Oh,
and
I
it's
can't
out.
see it.
Oh, hold on, let me wipe my camera off here. How's
Are you
that?
actually outside? Okay, there you go. All right. You look like you're a little wet.
I'm very wet. It is a torrential downpour. Trying to get my trailer parked so I can get my butt down to Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
All right.
To
Go see
help.
Scott Pressler.
I'm trying to go un-FUCK what Pressler has done to this nation, and right now I'm in Pennsylvania doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going, scorched earth on Dan Bongino because he's the authority on everything. Just ask him, right? He's the authority. The guy can't take advice from him. He's got more ego, and the hubris just basically overwrites everything. And he creates this little group: him, John Solomon, Steve Bannon, all these people. And everyone can like whoever they want, but you don't get to shit on people that have been working the last 6 years and literally suffered. He didn't suffer. What did that guy suffer? He didn't get to eat caviar with his wife on a Thursday. Oh, I feel so bad for you.
Yeah. No, we've been suffering, absolutely. And, everything he said, some of us have known about for a very long time. Years and years. Absolutely. I don't know what the big surprise is. Literally, it's the same stuff we uncovered, we've been talking about. Absolutely. God bless Tina for taking an image of a system, the big black box that none of us are allowed to look in, and trust us, we count the votes just fine. You don't need to look. And when we, find that not only, of course, are there back doors in the system and multiple back doors that allow flipping of votes, while Dominion tells us it can't be done with their system. But the fact is, the bigger problem is the lies, the entire pyramid of lies from all these people, this network of people who have been lying to the American citizens for decades and decades about these systems. They aren't secure. They never were secure. It's not about being able to be hacked. The fraud is built into the voting systems. I hate to tell everyone, and that's why they want everyone focused on vulnerabilities, because vulnerabilities doesn't prove fraud. The problem for them is we have the proof of fraud. We have cast vote records out of these machines, which have fake synthetic results in them, fake election results by the cast vote records baked in. We can see it. We caught them, period. But does anyone talk about that?
No, he doesn't talk about it. He doesn't talk about it. He actually hides behind it. He does the opposite, Mark. He does the opposite. And we smile and we laugh because we know that they're in on it. And they want to.
No question. Because this couldn't have gone on this long without them being in on it. And not only
on both sides.
Of course, on both sides. You know what IC stands for. A lot of people think IC stands for intelligence community, but it doesn't. It stands for information cover-up. And that's exactly what they've been doing. They've been covering for election systems that produce nothing more than an illusion of free will, but in actuality, they're able to massage the results. That's the whole design of the system. That's the intent of the systems. I hate to tell you. Can they be used to run an election accurately? Yes. Electronic voting systems could, in the absence of evil, be used to count votes in an election system. But unfortunately, we have a society where evil does exist. And as soon as evil notices that, oh, we can use electronic voting systems to put on an illusion of an election, well, we can actually control the results as long as those pesky little peasants don't look at it, then they can get away with total control and power over us. And that's what they've done. That's how they've enslaved a nation of people. And then, we've got an absolute hero, Tina Peters, who is one of the very few who decided to look into that black box or have someone look in that black box. And for instance, I was given the opportunity to do so. And I could see right away, not only are the back doors there, but the testing labs have been lying to us, that we were told that test it to make sure it's safe. Clearly, they didn't do their job. The EAC blindly rubber stamps it and certifies it. And then we got all these secretaries of state, which I'm sorry, they're not smart enough to make these decisions. They claim because they're tested and the EAC certified them that they're safe to use in their states. And not every state, but a lot of states. Texas uses 6 other experts on top of the EAC, and their experts found problems with HART and ES&S. And the Secretary of State of Texas decided to use it anyway. So these people don't care. The criminals want the systems in place because they can override the will of the people. That's it. That's the world we're living in. And nothing's changed. We're 2 months before an election, and not a damn thing has changed. And there's no way to patch our way out of this, or for anyone to say, oh, we promise we'll be good this time. We won't have to vote this time.
But here's the thing. We just watched the elections over the last 2 years go largely to the Democrats in ways that were unnatural. We just watched what happened to Spencer Pratt in LA County, where an unknown candidate pushed him out of the election to have 2 radicals running for position to keep the country and keep those people enslaved in their environment. We just watched it happen in Colorado with Victor Marx and the election that happened in order to make sure that they had a weak candidate against an even weaker candidate on the Democrat ticket. And now you have a concerted effort to do the same thing across the country. We saw it happen with Spanberger. Nobody wanted to elect a CIA agent to work in Congress. Nobody wanted to watch a CIA agent then become the governor. And now that they're there, they're stealing their Second Amendment rights, pushing First Amendment rights through the door, and using judges that were appointed by these same radicals to say, hey, punish everyone you can, take everything from them. But here's the problem with that. Sooner or later, you get people that you back into a corner that are like, they get a case of the F-its. What happens when that happens, Bart?
I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to just get them to realize, I'm trying to wake the public up so they realize what problem we actually have here. And the answer to all their problems, the solution to all their problems is just take back your elections, count your own votes. We count our own votes and we ensure that only eligible citizens vote. We are good. We can correct all this because fair elections are the citizens' last non-violent check on corruption. And we have an entire nation full of corruption. That's it. All we have is fair election. It's that or the other. I don't want it to go to the other. A lot of citizens are sitting there like cowards saying, oh, we're just going to wait. I don't want to wait. I don't want needless harm. I don't want people to be hurt. I want to just take elections back, count your own votes, and the little game that these a-holes on both sides, really the a-holes that infiltrated both sides, have been playing upon the American people, including all the people in government that have been lying to us, the intelligence communities have been lying to us, mainstream media has been lying to us, secretaries of state that have been lying to us, and in some cases, rare cases, election officials, local election officials that are lying to us. But a majority of election officials are good, honest, patriotic Americans who have been lied to by this entire system, lied to and used to steal the liberty from the American people without knowing it. And if I were them, I would be pissed. And I think that's why Tina Peters is pissed. And I think that's why a number of them are starting to finally talk about this. And they are also pissed. This is our moment, everyone. I'd say election officials, you've been used, you've been lied to, now's your opportunity. Stand up, join arm in arm with the rest of us, and throw these systems in the garbage and return true liberty to the American people.
Yeah, I mean, look, I couldn't say it any better myself. I mean, I probably could, but you would argue that it probably wasn't better.
Well, I mean, you get delusional at times, so that's all right.
Okay, so I want to play. I want to play. I got to go back to this because I think it's really important because I just want to punch Dan Bongino hypothetically in the face with words, right? So I'm not trying to, punch him in the face, but he has a habit of like acting like he's like Rico Suave or something, and that he can take shots at everyone because he's the authority. I mean, this is a guy that, I kid you not, he has talked and he was in the Secret Service. That's the equivalence of his deal. Ran for office too, that he did that. Yeah.
Really quick first, on the Brandon Strzok deal, I don't know if you played that. I know Brandon. Brandon's a friend of mine. And Brandon is absolutely, I'm not talking for everyone watching, right? Brandon, just for everyone watching, is a solid guy. He's a solid guy, a patriotic American that got effed by this whole system. He got wrapped up in this whole J6 thing as a result of stolen elections. That's what it's all about, is a stolen election. And everything he's experienced, he is absolutely being truthful about. And that's absolutely what happened. So I would love to know from Dan Bongino, how stupid do you think the rest of us are? How much longer do you think the American people are going to put up with lies like this? And if you are lying for some other reason and you're a good guy, bad choice, because it's going to cause people to lose all their trust in you.
Yeah.
So anyway,
eventually it comes full circle, right? Eventually it comes full circle. Like I know it's not popular to talk about John Solomon. He's out there. He's doing the best he can. No, he's not. He's not a stupid man. He's a deceptive man, but he's not stupid. And somewhere along the line, he's deciding to give us truth light, hoping that somewhere along the line, we won't get to the place where we can just throw out the machines because there's money involved. I just want to know there's money and power involved here, right? Yeah. And the people that want to keep that power and keep that money, they got to go, including the mainstream. There's apparatus. All of the judges over the last 20 years that were put into positions of power and authority, they got to go. They got to go. And we have to have elections across the board. And you can say, well, you can't afford to do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can. And if you don't, and get rid of illegals in this place, we have a bigger problem. Now, I want to play this. This is, by the way, Dan Bongino decided to go after everyone, right? Well, come after me, Dan, because you know what? I don't care. I actually don't care. I don't care. I could care less. Like, Mark, the amount of like calmness that I have has been unbelievable. Like, I feel like I'm at that place now where I'm like, it's okay. Like, God's going to do what God's going to do. It's all going to be fine. Are you muted? Did you mute me?
I'm good. I was just thinking earlier in the beginning of the call, I was like, Joe is a lot more calm than he's used to on this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, then you got fired up. So we got the old Joe again.
I got a little bit fired up, but I'm not fired up to the place where, I'm going to get angry. I'm not going to get angry. I'm done. I'm done having them affect my life, right? I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do what is necessary. I'm going to wreck it, Ralph. But I'm going to speak truth. I'm going to continue to speak truth. But I want people to come to the dance. I want people to come to the dance and realize that they have not only been betrayed, they have literally been used in a way that's just not normal. What are you doing to Mark here, guys?
What sorry. I'm really pissing your guys off. I'm sorry. I promise to stop messing with my phone now.
Okay. All right. I want to play this. Actually, I want to show you this. So Dan Bongino then goes off on Alex Jones. Alex Jones says, shows on X see 90% reduction in views after change in algorithm. Are witnessing mass censorship or a huge bug in the system? Well, I've had to repost stuff over and over and over again and get to a place where it's that. But then Dan Bongino comes back and says, maybe you just suck, just throwing that out there. So I want to be, Mark, I want to say this. I'm Team Trump. I'm Team Trump. I'm going to be Team Trump. He got shot in the ear.
Me too. The guys put up with all of this shit. God bless him.
But he's got to have better cover. And the cover that he has right now is do not you can't criticize President Trump. You're not allowed to do it. And a lot of this is because President Trump doesn't know. He doesn't have any idea what some of the people are doing. Oh, he's being lied to like crazy. And you can't get to the bottom of it that's why you have this deal going on in Iran. You can't get to the bottom of what's happening in the elections. But he didn't stop there. He just, goes after Alex Jones. And then he put up a post to go after Owen. He's like, this is what doomers look like. Put that up. He says, why do all the doomers look like this? I told you these people are leftists. If they're telling you to vote Democrat, they're Democrats. Okay. Just so you know, I don't know if he said that or not. I think he's a retard if he did. I don't think Owen did that. I think what he said is you can't keep voting for people that are working against you. But that's probably not the most flattering picture. I have a picture of me that's out there. I have unflattering pictures too, right? Because, that's what the radical left does is they use those things. All right, take that down. Now, let me point something out here, okay? The guy that put up that, Sean Farish, okay? Sean Farish works for who? I'll put it all together for you. Who does he work for? Dan Bongino. So Dan Bongino goes to Sean Farish, said, I'm going to give you a job. I'm going to pay you money. I'm going to let you grift off me while I grift off of other people. I'm going to let you do that. And oh, by the way, while I'm doing that, I need you to attack Owen for me. Now, at the same time, you can look back and go, Julie Kelly, who also blocked me, whose husband is a Democrat. They've done nothing but give Democrats money for the last 20 years. It's all a big shell game, by the way. Nothing to do with the American people. We're an inconvenience. And President Trump has literally shed a light on the fact that we have a shit government with shitty people. And things aren't happening fast enough because, frankly, this ship is too big to sail because they're lying to him. But Dan Bongino and Julie Kelly and, Steve Bannon, and I got to go down the list of all these people, right? By the way, don't get me started on the Steve Bannon deal because I'm going to tell you right now, I can't even give someone credit when they were friends with a pedophile. And you can say, well, it's just gathering information. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But then he goes after Mike Flynn, General Flynn. When he's going after Patrick, he's going after General Flynn. He goes after everyone. And he put this up. Mike, how's your anti-Trump signaling going and endorsement working out? Asking for a couple 100,000 friends. Ask him how his anti-Trump signaling is going. General Flynn, when he was a general, his job, Mark, his job was to do what? Give advice to the president, correct? So if he's giving advice to the president, why would he not give advice to the president? Because a general's position is forever. When he's not in the presidency, and where is that seen as critical of the president or show a lack of regard for President Trump? Does it? Or does it show courage?
Yeah. I get it.
And here's an old one of Dan going after Thomas Massie, and I'm going to tell you the irony of this one. Thomas Massie's a liar, a grifter, and a fraud. Thanks, and have a good morning. That was a couple months ago. It was a couple months, by the way, after Thomas Massie's wife of nearly 30 years. And let me just be clear to you, Thomas Massie is not always right. He has stood on the side of Team Evil from time to time, right? Because you got to negotiate with all the people that are in Congress. And he's been critical of President Trump. Now, I don't have to say that I agree with his criticalness of President Trump, but I can tell you when you're critical of someone, you call someone a liar, a grifter, and a fraud, and that's all Dan Bongino has been. I don't know how you stand on. Show me what Dan Bongino has sacrificed. I want to see it. I want to see what Dan Bongino has stood up for that didn't involve him running over to Sean Farish or some of his other, nilly-billy boys. Anything, Mark?
Not that I know of. And I try not to judge anyone unless I've walked in their shoes for a few miles, but I haven't seen it. I'm just stuck trying to return elections to the people. And anyone that's in the know knows our elections are manipulated. Anyone like Dan Bongino would absolutely know exactly what's been going on to our elections for decades and decades. So anyone that is not fighting to get rid of all of these electronic machines, voter registration, the validation, electronic poll books, the tabulators, the whole deal, I have to question their motives huge, especially someone like Dan, who should know this. That's my problem.
we're going to have to take a commercial break. I know Tina's coming in. Hopefully you'll stick around with us so we can have Tina and you on so we can work that problem as well, talk about Shasta County. But when we're going to just play a sponsor video, please watch it. Please support it. I have to get used to saying that, by the way, because it's just a video about DCF. You can support DCF though. But we do have some sponsors that have been banging down our door to come in, and so I want to make sure that I have the ability to support them. But check this out, and we will be right back, and we will have a conversation about Clint Curtis, your favorite, my favorite.
All right. That's great.
Stay with us.
Oh, hi. I almost didn't see you there. Welcome to DCF Buns, where you can find the freshest buns in town, if I do say so myself. Our master bakers teach class every week. So whether you're new to baking or trying to improve your culinary skills, we got you covered. And we can help you bake the cake of your dreams. We'll even clean your cake if you want. And if you don't want to bake anything yourself, we have loads of fresh buns available in a variety of shapes and sizes. Check us out at dcfbuns.com to learn more. DCF Buns, we keep the buns hot and the deals hotter. Buns.
In every thread, in every stitch, Honor-Bound USA weaves the fabric of the American spirit. It's not just apparel, it's a testament to God, family, and country. At Honor-Bound USA, we're a family of patriots who put our faith, family, and America first. When you visit our website, you'll find a line of products that embody our commitment to pray, stand, speak, and act. As the official site for the Untamed podcast, all of our products proclaim speaking the truth with courage. We also have the powerful documentary from Professor David Clements, Let My People Go. Identify yourself as one of the few who are willing to stand for what they believe in. Join the Honor-Bound USA family today. Wear it as a badge of honor, commitment to the values that shape us, and a pledge to the bright future we will build together. Because when you're honor-bound, you're not just wearing a brand, you're embodying a lifestyle.
But it was Florida back then, and things weren't very good.
Florida's still corrupt. Yesterday was their primary, and I have a very amazing girlfriend who got arrested when she should not be arrested before the Florida primary because she was filming someone else getting arrested in Palm Beach County, Florida. So there's a lot of corruption. So you knew about the corruption.
Yes.
So this is your way of giving back.
Right. Of trying to fix the program I wrote. Basically, the program I wrote, they asked for a program that would work on voting machines. The thing they wanted to be added to that, could that be manipulated? Could you have something in there where someone could come up, select somebody, and then flip the vote to them? Well, of course you can. It's a computer, right? It's going to do exactly what it's told. So I wrote it for them. I made it so that you could select any person and flip the vote 5149, hand it to them saying, this is why you can never use computers. Because when you look at this, you'll see the flip, but you won't see it anywhere else. I've changed the log files, I changed the dates, I've changed everything else. The database is clean. Everything's going to look completely normal to anybody who checks it. That's why you can't use it, right? And then they said,
but we still use it.
And then they said, well, we were planning on using it.
And we still use it, right?
Well, there were some issues, but we got around that. And so I testified before Congress, telling people exactly what it did. And
what year?
2004, I think.
Oh, so you're a whistleblower.
Yes.
Okay.
So 2004, testified for Congress. And then at that time, the Democrats were complaining about election fraud and the Republicans were not, right? Now, working for Bush and watching what they did, I kind of changed my allegiance over to the Democrats for a while. But I'm a Trump Republican because Trump brought it back around.
You're America first.
Exactly.
America first Republican.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it can go back and forth.
Democrats, because there used to be a lot of us.
Yeah,
right?
like Secretary Kennedy.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so all the patriotic Democrats that actually care about this country will probably change to Republican, because that's what we have left.
Or maybe we'll have a new
we don't
party.
Get the Bushes back.
America first. Well, the
worthless.
Bushes were very obviously part of the CIA. George Sr.
You could see that from the second part of the Reagan administration, where it went from Morning in America to, oh my God.
I've interviewed so many people on that topic, but that's another topic. We are in an emergency situation right now in Redding, California. This is Clint Curtis. He is the current county clerk. Hint, hint, hint. When was the last time you heard about a county clerk? Tina Peters. Tina Peters just got out of Colorado State Prison for 2 years. We are going to make sure Clint Curtis does not get arrested by anyone. He is following every rule, every law. He's making sure that he complies with everything legal.
Mark? 2004.
Yep. Yeah, they've known. In fact, they worse than know. They actually took his ideas and built it into all the systems to manipulate the votes.
So let's go back in time. Where was he working when that happened? What state?
Florida.
Mm-hmm. And what congressman? Was he a Republican or Democrat?
Republican.
Republican.
Mr. Tom Feeney.
And what? Where was Smartmatic first established?
Oh, I think that state down in the lower right. I think Florida.
Florida. And
yeah.
let's keep going, man. This is good stuff, right? So they have that, and then you had the Smartmatic that goes and does the election in Venezuela, and then flips it for Venezuela. And then less than a year later, they come in, they're like, hey, we have a windfall of cash. Let's buy up 17 states and the District of Columbia. What was that company called again? I think it was Sequoia Voting Systems?
Sequoia Voting Systems. I think that's the company that my neighbor worked at for a couple of years with Eric Coomer, actually.
Yeah.
And I have a whole bunch of the emails from inside Sequoia while he was working with them. And they were doing some very interesting things with elections in Chicago, of all places. How interesting as well.
Who was running those elections in 2020?
The Dominion?
Yeah,
Eric Coomer. Wow.
And who was the chief architect in 2005, right after they got bought? I mean, right after they got bought, Sequoia got bought, and they brought in this guy, drug addict, that he just happened to pinky swear get clean and came in as a chief architect. I think his name was, what was his name? It's
also Eric. His name's also Eric Coomer. Is it the same Eric Coomer?
I think it's the same Eric Coomer.
Yeah.
And so fast forward years later, anti-Trump, self-proclaimed skinhead who likes to write about his escapades of abusing his wife, and who frankly has had a lot of run-ins. Bunch of DUIs.
Not to mention that really, really unsettling picture of him without his shirt on. That's kind of nasty. If people only knew who this guy really was.
But they do know. And then he sued everyone, and you had people that settled because of what happened with Dominion. So he had this chilling effect with Dominion.
Yeah, I'm saying the citizens knew who this guy was and how involved he was in the companies, and the companies that process the votes for over 40% of this nation. In fact, 6 out of 7 swing states, last I checked. You can't get that much evidence without there just maybe being something to it.
Yeah, this is this is where we start to really uncover some really bad things. And I want to play this video because Brandon Strucka took Dan Bongino apart. Now, I shared it. Many of you have read it, seen it. But he took him to task. And not only did he take him to task, but he set the record straight against Dan Bongino. And, you can't say Dan Bongino without saying Kash Patel, the other liar that seems to be in the administration. So the administration is just filled with with what would you call him? I think you'd call him Punjab Bob. Yeah, we'll call Kardashian Patel Punjab Bob. I mean, the only thing left for him to do now is to sell us Best Buy gift cards. Might be a thing. Go ahead. Let's play this Straka video, and yeah, you can keep us on here. By the way.
I'm making this video because today Dan Bongino unblocked me just long enough to drop into my comments and leave this message before blocking me again so that I couldn't respond. The message Dan left in my comments was, "Are you still mad I won't have you and your grift on my show? Put a diaper on and stop begging like a dog to come on. It's a no. No grifters on my show." So it's a really short message, but there's actually kind of a lot to unpack in just a couple of sentences. So I want to kind of go through it piece by piece to kind of break it down. So the first thing I want to address is that I haven't asked Dan Bongino to go on his show in years. The last time I think I reached out to him was probably in 2022, and I had reached out probably somewhere between 8 to 10 times between 2021 and 2022, telling him that I was going through absolute hell with January 6th between being criminally charged, civilly sued, and deposed and subpoenaed by the January 6th committee and investigated, that I had 3 different forms of lawfare coming down on me, and that I desperately needed help getting my story out because I was being crushed. Now, to be clear, Dan was responding. If he wasn't responding at all, I would have just assumed he didn't get my messages, and it was whatever. But he was responding, and he was giving me these really short, flippant responses like, "If I can find time in the show, I'll have you on," which I thought was weird because he does a daily podcast for hours, and he was going on his show every day using January 6th as a talking point, talking about the weaponization from the Biden administration against all these J6 people. And I thought, well, here I am, a person with inside information about what's actually going on, the people involved, the players, and the tactics that they're using to destroy people's lives. Rather than speculate about it, have somebody on who can actually tell you exactly what's going on. He wasn't interested. And never in the course of those 2 years that I reached out again and again and again did he ever become interested in actually hearing a firsthand account from somebody who was going through January 6th. Now, Dan made a ton of money talking about weaponization on his podcast, selling books. He even made a movie called Police State that was all about the weaponization of the government. But never once did he actually express any interest in talking to an actual J6er about what was happening to the J6ers. So I want to start by addressing the first thing he asked. Are you still mad that I wouldn't have you on my show? No, Dan, I'm not mad. I was never mad. Mad is not a word that I would use to describe my feelings towards you. My feelings towards you would be described using words like deceived, duped, betrayed, appalled, maybe even sickened or revolted, and definitely disillusioned, but not mad. I was never mad. The next thing you referenced, Dan, is me and my grift. And I'm not really clear what grift you're referring to. Is it the walkaway campaign, Dan? Is it that I've spent 8.5 years dedicating my life to trying to get as many people to open their minds and leave the Democratic Party as possible? Is it that I have traveled the country going into colleges, minority hot zones where I've been chased, attacked, beaten, spit on, that I literally had the full weight of the entire government come down on me and put me in jail and try to destroy my life because of the success that I have had getting thousands and thousands and thousands of people to leave the Democratic Party and come over and support our party and support President Trump, help get President Trump reelected so that people like you could become the deputy director of the FBI? Is that the grift that you're referring to, Dan? Is it the fact that I did this work for over 3 years and didn't pay myself a single dollar from my organization, and I only started paying myself after I got arrested and charged and started going through 3 forms of lawfare simultaneously at the same time before I started paying myself a single dime as I was going through this? Is that the grift that you're referring to, Dan? Or is it my advocacy for J6? Is that the grift that you're talking about, Dan? Is it the fact that I even had half of the conservative media slam their doors in my face as I was trying to get the stories out about what the J6ers were going through? And you were one of the people who slammed your door in my face. And I have to watch every day as you assail people like Tucker Carlson or Marjorie Taylor Greene, who actually did something when people needed help, who actually stood up. Tucker Carlson, no matter what you might think of anything else he has to say, was the person who was single-handedly most responsible for helping change the narrative of January 6th by exposing what actually happened. You had no interest in talking to anybody. And then you told me to put a diaper on, Dan. Is that because you think the J6ers are babies Is that what you think of the people whose lives were crushed and destroyed for years for showing up on January 6th to defend President Trump and the American voter? Do you think the 7 people who have committed suicide so far are babies? One of them who just committed suicide this year? Because this still goes on? Do you even know, Dan, that there are J6ers who are living in their cars because they lost their homes, their life savings, they lost everything? Do you know there are J6ers who lost their spouses and lost custody of their children? Do you even know that? Do you care? Do you have any clue how the agency that you were tasked to be the deputy director of was weaponized to destroy people and harm people to the point that people could not take it anymore? But you just want these people to put on a diaper because they're a bunch of babies, right? The J6ers are just a bunch of babies. Well, they're not babies, Dan. A lot of these are really, really good people who lost everything for standing up for President Trump and the American voter. And you know what they've gotten in return? An FBI agency that promoted the architects of January 6th. You and your partner didn't have a single conversation with any person who's gone through January 6th. You've conducted no investigations whatsoever. You have no idea who did what to whom because you never had any interest. In fact, if you had talked to me, Dan, at any point, even on the phone, privately, I could have told you about Agent Jeremy Desor, the agent in my case who completely manufactured evidence, who made things up to charge me with things I didn't do, who it took you guys an entire year to figure out was connected to Arctic Frost, the weaponization against President Trump, before you finally got rid of Agent Jeremy Desor. But what about all the other agents who are still in the FBI? Because you guys never conducted an investigation, you never talked to anybody about what they went through, and all of those people who did all of this harm to all of these people are still there. And then you told me to stop begging like a dog to come on your show. Dan, I haven't reached out to you in over 4 years, and I'm not a dog. I'm just a really good person who is a hard-working conservative and has been a loyal soldier to Donald Trump for many, many years to fight for the conservative movement and to get Donald Trump reelected. And when I desperately, desperately needed your help, you closed your door in my face. And when you had the power to actually affect change and do something about it, you did nothing. I'll completely disregard the final statement that you made that you don't allow grifters on your show because I think anyone's head could explode from the irony of that statement. But let me just tell you this. When you refer to me and the walkaway movement as grifters, you're just alienating another sect of your base. And you guys have done a pretty outstanding job over the last year of alienating libertarians, independents, and so many other people in the coalition who came together to fight for President Trump and fight for the conservative movement. So what the hell? Why not just alienate the entire walkaway movement as well? What does it even matter at this point? So many of us all over the country had hoped that this was going to be the moment for true and real change, that we were going to get in there and actually deal with the corruption, deal with the lies, deal with all of the scum in the swamp in Washington, D.C. But it turns out, Dan, you are the swamp. You are the scum. And you're also a gaslighter by accusing everybody who calls you out of being exactly what you are. We put our faith and our trust in you, Dan, and you let everybody down. So you don't need to worry about me ever wanting to come on your show, ever. There may have been a benefit to that at a time when the American people still trusted you. But now, Dan, nobody's even watching you anymore anyway.
What do you think of that?
I think it's very impressive, and Brandon is incredibly articulate. He absolutely got totally screwed. Brandon should have been the very first person that was called in all of this, and the fact that he didn't get a single call throughout all that, and he should have been the first person to get a call, is a big problem, because he could have easily articulated everything that was going on. The people that are in control, still are. We are still no closer to having any freedom. It just looks like we have control.
It's
it
truth
looks like we have liberty,
it's truth light.
but we don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that led you, by the way, what I just told you led you to put this up. And let's go ahead and put up Mark's post. Wow, ES&S, how convenient you have a hard drive wipe utility and instruct the election officials on how to open up the tabulators to wipe the hard drive. That certainly makes it easy to erase election records. The darn evidence can be so pesky sometimes. And you put that up there. I mean, this is real information, right? It wiped the hard drive, clears all the data on the central count hard drive in preparation for the firmware update. Now, can you tell me what a firmware update would be, Mark?
The firmware is kind of like halfway between software and hardware, but basically it's software that's not the operating system, that doesn't change or isn't supposed to change very much. And it controls the entire operation of the computer. The operating system sits on top of the firmware and does the rest of the work. So this is from their own manual. They have ability, not even ability, provision for, and they give instructions to election officials on what steps they can follow in order to wipe the contents of the hard drive, and not just delete the contents. It's actually a security wipe to permanently wipe the contents from the drive with a special ability to be able to do so. Under what circumstance would any voting system need the ability, built-in ability nearly, and instructions in the manual to wipe the very information that's on it, when our election officials are supposed to be able to keep election information for, by federal law, at least 22 months, and in some states even longer? It's almost like they've got that built-in ability for some other reason.
You know, I don't know why we're in this place where we have to allow people like John Solomon, allow people like Dan Bongino to sit here and lie to us and paint a picture that's not true. It's the same conflation. They conflate the fact that we're upset that we didn't get the one thing that we wanted. We said we wanted free, fair, and transparent elections. President Trump put it in place, there's plenty of people that have talked to him about what that would look like. Plenty of experts, people that have been doing this work for 6 years, not his first. He's played the videos on his socials. He knows. Like, President Trump knows that these are the things that have to get done. We have to get the paper ballots in person, get rid of mail-in ballots, clean the voter rolls. The states say we're not going to give you access to it. He doesn't declare a state of emergency. The Pam Bondi was probably as ineffective as possible. They had enough information to arrest people like Eric Coomer long ago. They had the information inside of the documentation to show that John Polis lied. They have it all. They have enough to charge people with treason and high crimes against the country.
They have no intention to do so, because these people are the ones that are using the systems to steal the vote of the American people. They're not going to get rid of it. They just want us to go away. They don't want it to go away.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my biggest problem. That right there is my biggest problem. Guys, is Tina in? Make sure I send it to the right place.
Okay. Well, I hope everyone enjoys their drive through Pennsylvania with me today.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Glad to see you're out there. Let's see if I can send Tina a text message too.
I'm just trying to find a place to repack my wheel bearings. If I can do that, I'll be real happy. Otherwise, I will be doing that myself over the next couple days, which is kind of cathartic. So it's not like the worst thing in the world. But it'd be nice to actually not have to be doing repairs for a little bit. In fact, the funny thing is, last time I was in Lancaster is when I replaced all my wheel bearings and all my brakes on my trailer. And here I am 2 years later, almost to the month. And it's time to go repack them all.
Okay.
You know, and when I was out there, you know that Major Elliott Garrett came from NBC News or CBS? I think it's CBS. Came from Washington, D.C. with a film crew and another journalist to my little old presentation here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, because he wanted to interview me and wanted to be there for my presentation. And after he groveled for about 10 minutes at the beginning of the presentation, I told him, if I have time at the end, I will talk to you, but I'm here for the citizens, so sit down and learn. An hour in, when I go to show the vote flipping software that's built into the Dominion system, as soon as I got ready to show that, they grabbed their cameras and ran out the door like little cowards.
Well, it's not like cowards. They're complicit in the behavior. They're complicit. They're complicit.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I'm waiting for something, a video that just came out that is more proof of some of the election fraud that is happening out of Michigan. You saw what happened with Darleaf, right? He is being eviscerated right now. Yeah, he's being eviscerated right now.
Oh, I have not seen that.
People are attacking him left and right because he put the stuff out about, okay, now they want to know. Remember when they wanted to know who the Antifa kid was? They want to know who gave me access to socials and all that stuff. And they're not doing any harm, although there's been an immense amount of harm. They're saying, hey, pinky swear, just give us the information and we're not going to do anything to him. But they want to know who gave him the information inside of the Benson's office that works inside the election systems.
Okay.
So I also have this. This is kind of something that came out. Let me send this over to you while we wait. This is...
Wow, there is about a foot of water on this street.
It's a good thing you have a big pickup truck.
It is a really good thing. I hope no one gets stranded. Oh, this idiot. Why are you driving through it? Well, I might be towing some cars out here.
Let's put this up here. This is one of the things that we were just talking about, but a whistleblower inside the Democrats' Secretary of State's office just claimed the election software is programmed to automatically register non-citizens, including illegal aliens, whenever their address gets updated. Assistant Attorney General Hamid Dillon's response: if that's true, this is definitely out of whack with the federal election statutes, and I will certainly look into that. She added that the DOJ has already opened up numerous investigations nationwide, and they will not stop. This is exactly why we need the Save America Act and real citizenship verification, secure elections, or lose the country. Okay, so I'm just going to say this. She says, if that is true, that's definitely out of whack with our federal election statutes. I almost feel like Hamid Dillon is just another one of those Bob Jobs that is not getting stuff done. And I'm sorry. I mean, she's supposed to be the one that's looking out for us, and she's posting about her dog. Like, I don't care about your dog. I care about our elections. We can't even stay focused. Mark, why can't we stay focused?
But her dog, Joe, her dog.
And she'll be blocking me again. I keep getting blocked by people like Dan Bongino. And I'm like, oh, I'm really upset about that. Yeah, I'm losing sleep, lots of sleep already.
You know, either these people are totally just effing playing all of us, or they have some great master plan. But I'll tell you what, the clock's ticking, and we got 2 months before this election, and we're all going to know on November 3rd. We will know if they've taken care of business or if they sold us all out. So tick and talk.
And on November 3rd, it's going to be even worse than that. They're going to claim victories. I mean, look, the way that people are talking as if they haven't figured out. I'm thinking to myself, just because you can steal an election back, and now you're in control of the seat, because I know that's what they're doing. I know for a fact the Republicans are like, well, we'll just steal our own elections and we'll do the same thing on our side, and then
They're not going to steal it.
No, that's their plan. Their plan is to make sure they negotiate between both parties on keeping the system in place so they can have their people on both sides win. That's their game. That's their game. And the game is, we built the system to be able to do this. It doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrats. They're uniparty hacks that basically just do nothing but betray the American people. So let's just continue to do that.
Yeah. Well, we will know. It'll be very obvious to the American people. At least us, our group of American people. The rest of them that haven't quite opened their eyes yet, we will work on opening their eyes.
All right. I got to take a quick break. And we'll take a quick commercial break because I got to call Tina and figure out what's going on. So give us 2 minutes. We'll be right back.
Oh, hi. I almost didn't see you there. Welcome to DCF Buns, where you can find the freshest buns in town, if I do say so myself. Our master bakers teach class every week. So whether you're new to baking or trying to improve your culinary skills, we got you covered. And we can help you bake the cake of your dreams. We'll even clean your cake if you want. And if you don't want to bake anything yourself, we have loads of fresh buns available in a variety of shapes and sizes. Check us out at dcfbuns.com to learn more. DCF Buns, we keep the buns hot and the deals hotter. Buns.
In every thread, in every stitch, Honor-Bound USA weaves the fabric of the American spirit. It's not just apparel, it's a testament to God, family, and country. At Honor-Bound USA, we're a family of patriots who put our faith, family, and America first. When you visit our website, you'll find a line of products that embody our commitment to pray, stand, speak, and act. As the official site for the Untamed podcast, all of our products proclaim speaking the truth with courage. We also have the powerful documentary from Professor David Clements, Let My People Go. Identify yourself as one of the few who are willing to stand for what they believe in. Join the Honor-Bound USA family today. Wear it as a badge of honor, commitment to the values that shape us, and a pledge to the bright future we will build together. Because when you're honor-bound, you're not just wearing a brand, you're embodying a lifestyle. Okay, Tina's there. Mark, how you doing, brother? So we got Tina. We finally got Tina. Crisis averted. We have Tina Peters. So good. Tina, where are you? Come on, put everybody up. Let's go.
Hang on. My video's undone.
Well, I think that it's going to be. We were just talking about the fact that you should be Time Magazine's woman of the year.
Whoa, man.
Whoa, man.
What is a whoa, man?
You're all woman.
Some people are confused about what that is.
I agree fully, and it just drives me crazy. Yeah, and then now that you have the WNBA, you got Royce. Was it Royce White that wants to go join the WNBA? He's going to declare as a woman. I can't imagine he would wreck it, Ralph. He would just wreck it.
Oh,
all right,
goodness. Wait a minute. Let's see. I got to lower something. I got to do something.
All right, Tina, you can talk. We can't see you yet, but I want to be able to hear you. How are you doing? I saw the picture. I've been following you. I got so excited when I heard about the Shasta.
No, it's not true though.
Well, I want it to be true. I thought they were going to. What's that?
Did you hear Antifa's already painting with snot on the window? F Tina.
Oh, did they really?
According to one reporter who I won't name, but.
Well, you look beautiful. You look like you're doing well. It's good to see you.
Thank you. I mean, I got in late last night, and yeah, it's been a whirlwind. 6 times now I've been in the White House. I thought it was 5, but actually I left there, took the train 5 hours to go see my mom, and then went back to DC. So it's been. You know what? I would recommend to everybody, if you have to go to prison for almost 2 years to get the access and to get the honor that I'm experiencing right now, it's worth it. And I hate to say that. I would never say going to prison is a good thing, because it was horrible for me. I mean, I was threatened to be beat up, killed, all the things I was threatened. I was harassed by the guards. Tormented by the one that ran the prison. But God, like Marcy says, my best friend, but God.
We used to say it all the time. I'd be on the phone with you and I'd be like, but God, I mean, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be good. And you knew it would be good. So it was, it feels good to have you out though. It really does. It's an immense amount of pressure lifted. We got Mark on here with you too.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Doing well. I'm in Lancaster County right now, getting ready to head to a presentation.
Good for you. Keep up the good work. Well,
Absolutely.
I met with so many people, open doors. I'm telling you, from the prison to the palace, literally. And no one can do that. No one can open doors like that but God, period. It's not anything in my own strength. It's not anything that anyone any one person has done. I mean, Donald Trump has been a big part of this, but I believe he's guided by God. But let me tell you something else. It was the people. It was the people that called up the White House, that prayed. I'll give you a good example. I was unless you had something you want to talk about first.
No, look, just keep going. Like, spit it. Let's go.
Because I can go on. I can tell you prison stories. I can tell you White House stories. I can tell you man on the street stories. I mean, it's incredible. So I'm in one of these times, I can't even remember which now, that I've been in DC since I've been released. There was a gentleman, a young man, who came up to me and he said to me, Miss Peters, I was an intern in the White House. And he said that every day, hundreds and thousands of people. Mark, were you with me? I think you might have been with me. I can't remember. Hundreds and thousands of people would call the White House. And what would they say, Mark?
Free Tina Peters.
Free Tina Peters.
Free Tina. That's what he called you too.
So okay. So I'm having lunch with the president, which was an honor, and we go out into the Oval Office from the private dining room, and there's Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance and all these people that had appointments with him right after mine. And President Trump points at me and he goes, "This is free Tina Peters." And they all started cracking up. They were laughing. They said, "Mr. President, we know who she is." And so, but the point I'm making in that is not that I'm anybody special, because God knows I'm not. I'm just somebody that stepped up.
No, God knows you are special. Hold on. Time out. Taking a quick break here. God knows you are special. Not you aren't special. You are special. You are endowed by the Creator to do the things that you're doing right now. This is providence. So I just want to correct the record just for you. Sorry.
You're right.
Thank you.
I'm correcting Tina about Tina.
Okay, let me correct what I said then. Is that I know in and of myself. And the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people out there, you guys know, they feel like, well, I'm not a Tina Peters, I'm not a Mark Cook, I'm not a Joe Oltmann, I'm not a President Trump, I'm not a this or that. And they always find an excuse why they can't do something. And I was a nobody. I just said, hey, as a business owner, I can fix those 3.5-hour wait times in motor vehicle. But because I raised my hand and said, God, use me, it gave him permission to come in. And because when you're trained to hear his voice, and that's what you seek, that's all I seek, is to hear his voice, then all the other noise around me doesn't matter. Right now, I've been asked to be at different places and do different things. And that brings up the Shasta County thing that you mentioned.
You did like my Sophie Cunningham picture though, right? Didn't you? Yeah, it was awesome.
I like that. And somebody wrote me and they said, I see merch in your future. So I need it. So don't buy from anybody else. Go to my website, tinapeters.us. I need the merch money. Because every time I go and use my credit card, I go, okay, God, and I go and I charge that plane ticket and I charge that hotel room for 2 sometimes. And because, I have to have people traveling with me, and I do the things I do. I just trust him, and every time I marvel, I say, well, my credit card wasn't declined this time, so I'm doing good. I think you have to trust God, and I think if I could say anything to the people out there, that, and I've said this so many times, everybody can do something, they can't get us all. This is a 1776 moment, and everybody has to listen to what their part in this is, because it's critical right now. I met with Howard Lutnick the Commerce Secretary for 2.5 hours from, I think we didn't meet until 8:30 or 9 that night and went to 11. These people are working around the clock in this administration. They have a boss that has a vision and a purpose for being there, that God put them there. But they need us. They need us to not say, what are you doing, Mark Wayne Mullen? What are you doing, President Trump? Why aren't you doing this? What? I see so much criticism in our own party. Oh yeah, they told him. They said that was at the Ned. The Ned's a private club. They said you can't take pictures in here. Now this is a man who was a trillionaire before. He doesn't need this job. He doesn't need Secretary of Commerce job. Probably losing money by doing that. While we're sitting there in the corner table over to the right of that picture, he's got his own little wooden nameplate there, and they know him there. Well, they said, well, you can't take pictures in here. And he says, oh, well, we'll just take a couple then. These are people that refuse to be told no. And so we're sitting there, and I took a couple people with me that I trust, that are in my inner circle, that I think are brilliant. It was Peter Berninger, who I've never seen him research. I've never seen a researcher research so accurately and win lawsuits, like Peter Berninger.
He's amazing.
So he's amazing. So he was with me, and then Colonel Conrad Reynolds and Will Huff. If you want to be understood, you have to listen. And I had taken somebody with me to Ed Martin, the parole pardon attorney, and I had said, "Don't talk, You let them talk." So many people are talking too much. They're wanting to get notoriety. They're wanting to get more information. We have information. We just need to be active using it.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and as we're talking, and he's talking really, and we're listening. And then once we listened, people that are trillionaires have, they're brilliant. There's a reason that they're trillionaires.
Yeah.
So you
listen, you will learn a lot. Yeah. In a very short period of time.
And it shows respect. So we listened, we were patient, and I'm thinking in my mind, I have to be honest with you, I'm thinking in my mind, oh goodness, are we going to be able to get in what we want to say here? Because we have a lot to say, but I didn't dare interrupt. And he did. He listened to us. We said, listen, you can get rid of these machines. There was an executive order last year. There's critical infrastructure. These are showing parts from outside of the country. As Commerce Secretary, you can get rid of these. So Will speaks up, and he says, well, we sent something to Mark Wayne Mullen. And if you play that clip, I don't know if you see that clip on my X, if you can find it.
Is it the one about the Eric? Is it the Eric one?
No, the one with Mark Wayne Mullen talking about.
Guys, find it, please. Find it. Mark Wayne Mullen, find it.
And if you don't, I have it in my
tell Jared to send it to me. So while we're waiting for that, Tina, while we're waiting for that, I want to play this. This is that intern you were just talking about. I have a video of you with that intern. Play it.
Oh, you do?
Oh. Huh? The video?
I'm going to see if I can find it for you.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. It's in my X. Let's see if I can. Will actually send it to me to give to him too. I'll look for it. But in this video, Mark Wayne Mullen is saying that he sent Commerce Secretary this information. They were working together, and he goes, I didn't get anything. And so then while we're talking, he's texting Mark Wayne Mullen. So all of a sudden things start happening, and it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing how common everyday people can make a difference. You guys talk for a minute while I see if I can find that.
Okay, I want to play this video. This is the young man, by the way. Is this the young man? All right, this is the young intern. This is the one you were just talking about, Tina. I want everybody to see this video. Play.
Okay.
I hate that I don't have mics. Here you go.
Okay, all right. So tell me how you know about me.
Absolutely. So I was an intern in the Trump administration, and this last fall, I was an intern in correspondence, and we took calls every single day from millions and millions of people that were calling Tina Peters, release Tina Peters every single day, free Tina Peters. We got hundreds, if not tens of thousands of calls, thousands upon thousands, every single day, every single week, free Tina Peters, and here she is. She's free. She's free.
Tell them your name.
My name's Jack. It's good to be here, guys.
Thanks, Jack. Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It's my honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Do you want to take a picture? Yeah.
You are.
Yeah. Cold drinks, snacks.
There's Jack.
I did not know
There's Jack.
That's so funny. I'm looking for this. I think Will sent me this while we were sitting down with the secretary. Oh, goodness. Let me see. Well, keep talking. I'll find it.
Yeah, so I think they're finding him on our side too. I think. Let me see here. Did you guys find him, Patrick?
I know I threw you guys a curveball. Sorry about that, but
yeah. So the Mullen
we can
video.
fill in the space. Let's see.
Okay, so while we're filling the space, here's a video that was on your website or on your X account, right? Talking about Eric. And let's go ahead and play C1 while we get this this other video.
I found the source of exactly where all these illegals are getting put on the voter rolls, and it's going to be made public very, very soon. And I'll tell you right now where it is. And it's an organization called the Electronic Registration Information Center. It's led by a guy named David Becker, who was involved in a scandal while he was a U.S. attorney, and he essentially contacted the city of Boston while he worked for the DOJ, and the DOJ sued Boston over voting rights, claiming that he would help them get out of it. He then worked for PFAW, the People for the American Way, a far-left organization. Then he went on to work for Pew. And with George Soros' money, he created an organization called the Electronic Registration Information Center, which is known as ERIC. And then ERIC contracts with the states to get your DMV records, all that sensitive data that nobody else can get, that's protected under the Driver's Privacy Protection Act. That's where they're finding out the ineligible voters. That's where they're finding out who in the state isn't registered to vote. And their membership agreement prohibits you from disclosing to them who is or is not a citizen. So you send all the information to people that live there. Don't tell them if they're citizens or not. And they pump those names onto the voter rolls, and then they circulate it back, and then they give it to the other organization David Becker found, which is the Center for Election Innovation and Research, which is the recipient of all those Zucker bucks from back in 2020.
I have been speaking about this ever since I was clerk and saying we've got to go after David Becker.
Oh, he's a terrible human being.
He is the most secretive, plays it. He's smart. He's very smart. He's like a snake, plays it so on the down low about how much power he has. Him and Jenna Griswold were all back with Obama in 2008, doing this stuff. He hates conservatives. And well,
he hates Americans. He wants to destroy America. Yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Do we have the Mullen video now? Can we play it? All right, let's play it.
Good.
That our foreign adversaries, not our allies, foreign adversaries have parts that are vital pieces in our voting machines. We know that they can access what they consider the key to the back of these machines. We know that they can change voter registration and your vote. We know it's possible. There's not a question. It's not even for debate. One thing that I love about numbers and I love about facts is they don't lie. This isn't something that I'm trying to tell you to spin a narrative. This is what is going on. And what we are saying is that every state should partner with us to work to secure this. Once we identify the problem, everybody should be informed. Working with Secretary Lutnick, we are going to make our security enhancements mandatory, meaning that if these states want to grant and they want to be reimbursed to work or to run federal elections,
Program, we have a pending
they're going to
appeal.
have to implement security issues.
So while we're sitting here and we're playing this video for Howard Lutnick, he's going, I didn't receive this. So somebody dropped the ball. So some heads are turning right now. And the secretary promised me by Monday. He has the power to do this. And it was only God that got us in on a late night meeting with a man who has a lot of important things to do. He was texting Trump, and of course Trump was talking about the tariffs with Canada right now, and all that was going along, and the pipeline and all the things were happening in that world. And he took time he was texting Mark Wayne and saying, hey, I didn't get this. So I'm telling you, things are coming together. If people will just be purposeful, ask God what you're supposed to do in this, whether it's call the White House with I have things on my website, tinapeters.us, with numbers to call, people to talk to, things to say. Just do it.
Well, it's Tina, the thing, by the way, I want everybody to go to tinapeters.us, and I want you to sign up. Here's what I want. I want the people that are watching right now, even if you watch it later and you're watching on a rerun, if there's one thing I want you to do, I want you to go to tinapeters.us, and I just want you to donate $3 a month. Okay. So I need 10,000 people to give $3 a month to Tina Peters. It's half a coffee. It's actually not. It's not even the cup. I just
Not today's prices.
I just need 10,000 people. I just need 10,000 people that are listening to this podcast. I need 10,000 people to give $3. Just go there and give $3. If you can give $5, great, give $5. I don't want anybody to give more. I don't want anybody to give more than $10. Okay. But I need 10,000 people to do it. If I get 10,000 people to do it, we can average this out to somewhere around $5 or $6, and you can commit to do this over the next couple of years. Tina doesn't want to do this forever. She also wants to live her life. She wants to go play golf with Joe, with me. She wants to go play golf with me. I'm going to teach her how to play golf. So, but this is important, and I'm not asking you to do too much. I'm asking you to do this for me, and just $3. $5, $10, but no one more than $10. I want to just crush this with donations, 10,000 donations. We're going to get to 10,000 donations, and we need the average to be somewhere around 5. So if you can get 10, please give 10. Right? That's gonna help the person that can only give 3. I want you to give $3. I'm asking you to do this. Tina is going all over the country. I can't even keep track of her. I'm not even important enough to get a phone call back anymore. I'm not even on the list. I'm like on the secondary list. Just so okay. Right. But I want to put this out there. I'm asking you to do it. And just $3. $3. That's it. Okay. All right. That's all I have to say about that.
Humbled by that. Thank you.
But on your page, you also had some other stuff. Okay.
Well, I put this, because we're always talking about politics and heavy stuff. I saw this little girl that died at 8, and God took me through NDEs, are called near-death experiences, years ago, and it was before my son died. So I think in a way it was preparation for that. But if you get a chance, when you go on my website, watch this. I got chills when I watched it, and it's about 2026. It's about Trump, and I thought it was very compelling. This, and then the next thing is about the seize the machines before evidence is destroyed. So I was talking with Shane Hedges, who is amazing. He's known. Do you know who Shane is? He's known the AG Todd Blanche for over 30 years. Trusted advisor, amazing human being. I met with him twice while I was in DC, and I called him and I said, hey, we have to do something about this. So he says, okay, well, I'll get my, he says, well, I'll call you back I should be free by 5:30. And then it was like 7. And he says, I've been in with the AG. I'm sorry, I can't call you yet. I'm in with the AG, Todd Blanche. He called me at 7:30. I got this other attorney on the phone. I don't know if she wants me to say who yet, but
Not yet. Please don't. I know who you're talking about.
and
All right.
and things are going to happen. I mean, things are going to happen. But if they don't know, then they can't do something.
Right.
Just like with the ballots out in Shasta County,
They're locked behind a door. And Clint Curtis is the guy, man. That guy is he is Wreck-It Ralph.
He is now, but he told everybody that I was coming there to work.
I did too. What are you talking about? I put it out there. Hey, oh, where am I? There we go.
I love Clint. I think he's doing a great job through a lot of opposition, I would say, in Shasta County. But I said I'd pray about it, and I said I would let him know, and I think he wants it to be that way. But I do. I have to pray about it, and I have to know, because I can go as a consultant. I can even my attorney was calling me and saying that press is calling me saying that you accepted this position. I said, no, I haven't. And then my parole officer is emailing me saying, I thought you said you weren't going to go to California for this job. And so I'm saying, everybody just calm down a minute,
You don't necessarily have to be in California to do this job. I mean, this is a consultancy job. So I just want to be clear. Right. You don't have to go to California to do that job. And so and whether or not Tina does or not, I got ahead of my skis, and there were good skis to get ahead of, just so we're clear.
Well, but you didn't know the other things that are happening too. And there are a lot of moving parts happening right now. So I was able to meet a wonderful, wonderful man by the name of Josh Smith. He is the Deputy Director of Bureau of Prisons. And I had told those girls when I left, I said, I won't forget you. And because every 2 weeks they thought I was getting out for a long time. And they said, I bet when you get out of here, you're going to forget us. And he made time for me and these are busy people, very busy people. And Josh was a prisoner. When he was in his younger days, he actually was arrested and sent to federal prison for drugs. And then here he is, second in command of the largest job, the biggest job in the United States over prisons, the Bureau of Prisons. And made time to sit with me. I told him about Shauna Gabriola, who sought to keep her child from transitioning secretly behind her back, the school system and stuff. And now she has about 9 or 10 days before she goes to prison for that. There's things out there. Ed Martin, a lot of people don't know, Ed Martin is going to bat under Todd Blanche to wipe away the restrictions on people that don't have their gun rights. That's something that's happening right now, which is an amazing thing. So as long as they weren't convicted of a violent crime, they can apply for a restoration of their gun rights, which is the Second Amendment. There's a real big this administration is so big on our Constitution, and our Supreme Court justices would be wise to take note that that's where their focus is. Their focus is the people. Their focus is the Constitution, the rule of law. Had lunch with Harmeet Dillon, just she and I. And the things that she did to shake up that prison I was in, and she said, we're not done with our investigation yet. We sent her office affidavits there will be prisoners that would sneak me these little letters signed by them talking about the medical indifference, talking about the lung issues that they had because of the black mold, which was very, very prevalent there. They had these inmates scraping off lead paint to paint over it, working 24 hours a day around the clock. So she's making a big difference in the civil rights of in the DOJ. I've never seen, I've been in government now, and I've never ever seen people that work as hard as these people work for Donald J. Trump. I mean,
You know, that leads me down the path of the people that are standing in opposition, right? I mean, part of it's transparency. Part of it is we have bad people on our side that say that they're for Trump, for Trump, but they didn't really do anything. You know, Dan Bongino didn't do anything as far as I'm concerned. And you have other people that talk a lot but don't do a lot, and and create confusion. And there are people inside the Trump administration that do create confusion. Some of those people have been shown the door, right? But President Trump is in a lose-lose situation. He goes and pulls one trigger, and somebody picks up a phone and calls the media and tells him some story, and now he's got another fire to put out, right? While he's dealing with the stuff in Iran, while he's dealing with it's perpetuating circle. And Harmeet Dillon, I love her. I thought for sure she was great. And then I see the stuff about her dog. I don't care about her dog. I was just talking to Mark about it. Mark, you care about her dog?
Thanks for coming out.
But she's human.
I know. I know.
That's the thing people have to understand. You saw me on the train. Now I could have flown to I'm not going to say where my mom lives, but
the train is awesome, by the way. The train is awesome. You got to.
Well, awesome. It's the train. But here's the thing.
Acela.
You do what you need to do to get the job done.
Yes.
I decided that, it was worth saving the money to take the train. And so I spent, 5-6 hours each way doing that. And you do what you have to do to get the job done. And these people, I mean, I'd give her a break. I would. Here's the thing.
All right, you tell me to give her a break, I'll give her a break. Sorry.
After being in DC,
I rescind it for a moment.
Thank you. Just ask a little grace, a little bit of grace. After being in DC, I see what pressure and I see what opposition these people are under. And you're right. They have, just why didn't Secretary Lutnick get the information that was sent to Mark Wayne Mullen? Mark Wayne Mullen, I think, assumed that he had that information and that he was working on it. And so, there are people that are obstructionists, but we don't want to throw the ones that are necessarily, I mean, I know the buck stops with them. When I was clerk, the buck stopped with me. That's why I got that phony stuffing the ballot box thing that Patty Inchko did to that Democrat secretary that worked in my office to try to get me recalled, which didn't work. But I understand there's obstructionists, but we need they need our prayers and support.
All right. Well, they get our prayers. We pray for them every day on the show, right? Mark, I know you got to go. You want to say something to Tina? I know we've kept you on here and haven't talked about it.
I do actually want to say something to Tina. So this would be kind of cool. So I'm sitting here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania right now, and I'm at the very location where I gave a presentation 2 years ago going over Tina and her whole story. And Tina, you don't know this because I think you were a little preoccupied at the time, but Major Elliot Garrett from CBS News, right, came down from Washington, D.C. with 2 big network cameras, a camera crew, and another reporter to sit and follow me around, do this little presentation I was doing about Tina Peters and the Mesa County images. And as I get into the presentation, about an hour in, about to show the back doors built into the voting system. And as soon as I said I was going to show you that Michael Steele of Dominion lied to us when he said his systems cannot flip votes, they did this and grabbed the cameras and hightailed it out of there before I could even start the demo. They drove all the way from DC to see it, and they
as fast as they could get out of here, they got out of here. So I'm back here in the same building.
Well, here's what the Bible says. I believe it's in Romans 8. It says, because they chose to believe a lie, that the Lord gave them over to delusions. And that's when it gets into, men seeking men, I mean, it gets into all this stuff. But,
the weirdo stuff.
if you choose to believe a lie, which is what a lot of these people do, God's going to let them believe that lie, and and they're going to have to face the consequences. But we need to save this country, so we're going to keep going no matter what the opposition.
Well,
Yes, we are.
I tell you what, yeah, I'm glad you cleared up to being offered a job. You were offered a job, so I did put it. You were offered.
I am being offered.
And there might be an opportunity that this still happens, because she's going to Sophie Cunningham, Shasta County, and what's his name, Newscomb.
I'm going to go where God tells me to go, and there's a lot of things that are really good. There's a lot of things that are really good right now. My heart's very much into anti-human trafficking. My heart's very much into prison reform. There's a lot of good things, but you have to decide what you're supposed to be doing, because time is very short. And that's what I'll be seeking. I've been away more than I've been home, literally.
Well, I know this is, I mean, other than your 2-year stay at the Hilton Hotel, the last 6 years have been pretty traveled, right? So I think this is the blessing, though. The blessing is that there's, God blesses those that bless others and does the work that he put path. You stay on the path God puts you on, God will take care of everything. I think I finally got to that place too, where I was like, I'm not upset anymore. I'm fine. Good.
I told you earlier, I said, every time I use my credit card, and this is my personal credit card. Every time I use my credit card, I'm like, okay, it wasn't canceled. I didn't reach my limit yet. You just have to walk in faith and know that, that God's going to equip you to do the things you need to do. I've always said, how can people be compromised? And I want everybody to remember this. I've said it so many times, they're probably sick of hearing it. If you can be persuaded by money, power, position, or fear, you can be compromised. And I say, a lot of Christians say, well, I could never be compromised by money. Well, we'll see. But position, power. But a lot of Christians are fearful.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid. You can't fight this if you're afraid.
They say, well, Tina, I don't know, because I have 3 small children. I don't know if I could do that, because what if they came after my children? Your children will belong to you anyway. God has put them in your care. And if God is truly calling you to go do something,
do it.
You better go do it. And God will take care of your children. Just like he allowed me to go to prison. Those people didn't put me in prison. They think they did. But what was meant for evil, God turned it around for good. So if you look at it from that perspective, how many people could go from just a regular business owner, stepped up in a little county to do a government job and so on and so forth, that refused to back down, give up, give in, and just kept going, trusting God, and then was sent to prison. Most people would go, oh my goodness, it's done for her. This is it. Can't trust God because look at her, and now she's in prison. I'm not gonna be the clerk that stands up and says, well, I did notice some things that weren't quite right during the election, but I'm not going to say anything because I get $90,000 a year. I get a 401a. I get, health benefits. I get all these things. I'm doing good. I can go to my kids', soccer games. I'm just going to stay quiet about it. Right. I could have done that. I could have done that. You know, but if you want to do something great, you got to pay the price. You're not going to get something for free. You're not going to get something for free. And too many people try to grab that brass ring and skip all the steps that are important for their growth. They're important for their maturity and their character. You don't know how much character you have until you're tested. You don't know how strong you are and how brave you are until that's the only thing you have left.
I have a recording of a conversation you and I had when you were in prison. I recorded it and I played it a couple days ago. Actually, if I'm being honest, I played it like 8 days ago, and you were somewhere, you were doing something. I shared a post of you and it came up on my phone. So I just had to listen to it. And I remember saying to you, this is just a small point. This is fine. You're going to be fine. Everything's going to be great. And you started the conversation where it was kind of an up and down conversation. It was good and it's bad. It was good, it's bad. You're trying to see the good through it. And then at the very end of it, that the words that you said were, but God. You literally said it. It's like, and I was like, but God, everything's going to be good. You're going to warrior up. God has you in that prison to change women's lives. And you did. You changed women's lives when you were in that prison. So even though you were doing it for a reason, there was another reason. Like God's like, hey, listen, while you're there, you think you could do me a few favors? You think you could help us out a little bit? I need some help. There's these women right here that really need some help. And it did bring me to that place where I've spent years angry. I've spent years angry, like literally just pent up anger. And then it just hit me. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. You know what? Even if it's not okay, it's okay. It's okay. And I was like, yeah. So anyway, you continue to do the things, Tina, that I think are necessary that God's leading you to do. And for that, I am grateful.
Thank you. That's my prayer, is that I will stay in his will. I won't be pulled away by jobs or, things that are not the right path right now that God has for me. We have just a short window before the midterms. And it's not just one county. How many counties do we have? 3,100 counties? Mark, how many counties we have in the US?
Well, over 3,000 counties, and it's happening everywhere. We have these problems down to the county level. Even dog catcher is being ripped away from the citizens. They're losing their liberties in their own homes where they're at, and we have no choice but to fix this.
That's right.
It's not even just liberties. It's their money. It's everything. It's the representation.
Their lives.
It's their constitutional rights.
Property taxes.
Property tax shouldn't even be there. It should not be. You shouldn't have to rent your house from the government. That's what you're doing. All right.
But
we're going to fix it.
Well, everything, and this is probably why I'm still in this, is because I know that everything that controls our lives, after being controlled, I was out the store today. I can't get out of a store without just being in awe of how many choices we have. People have no idea. When you lose all that, when you lose control of your choices, what you eat, where you sleep, who you're around, that you just can't walk away from, somebody controlling your whole life. That's where we're headed. That is where we're headed if we don't all stand up something. But what keeps me in this fight is that every single thing, the foundation is elections.
Everything.
The foundation of everything that happens to all of us, whether it's our water rights, whether it's our property taxes, whether it's if abortion gets approved or not, killing a baby right at 8 months. All those things that go on the ballot are being cheated. All of them.
Every one of them. Yeah.
It's not just your congressman, not just your president, not just your Colorado AG and all these other AGs and DAs and ABCs all over the country, senators and such. It is taxes on the rich. It is causing companies to go out of business. All these things stem from our elections. And when you have China that's involved in these elections and other countries that hate us and want to take us over, want to enslave us, every single person listening to this should be not just upset and enraged. You know, the Amish have a saying, when you pray, move your feet. Don't point your finger at someone else. Point your finger at yourself and say, what am I going to do? What am I going to do to make a difference? God, what do you want me to do right now when you're listening to Joe and Mark and Tina? What is it that I can do? Should I go on Tina's website and look to see where she has a call to action and call those numbers of the White House? Should I go to my city council meeting tonight? It's really not that convenient because I have other things that I would really like to do, like go have a beer with my friends or go to a game or watch a game on TV. That's one thing that Hollywood, the Hollywood thing of lulling people into this complacency of, and people in Hollywood have tried to speak out about that. Drew Carey used to talk about it in the Illuminati and all that stuff. And they installed laugh tracks to make it look like he was just kidding. They want to lull you into sleep. And First Thessalonians and Second Thessalonians says that we don't sleep like others do.
No,
that day will not overtake us like a thief, but that we will know the signs and we will know the times. And it's time for everybody to get back to their faith, first of all, and ask God, what is it that you want me to do? I'm going to put the channel changer down on the back on the end table, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to that city council meeting or that commissioner's meeting. I'm going to hear what goes on in those things about our water rights and what's happening in this city. And if and maybe I will run for office or get involved in counting those votes or become an election judge. It's like when you pray, move your feet, do something.
Get rid of the machines. We have to. We have no choice. The machines must go. For us to have liberty, the machines have to go, and they have to go now.
Not just the machines, all of them, all the electronics, the poll books.
Yeah. Oh, not the tabulators only. Yeah, absolutely. The whole system, the entire ecosystem has to go. It's all been engineered to cheat. It all works together. You can't get rid of one part of it. You got to wipe the whole thing out, go back to paper for the whole deal, and that's how we get true liberty again. That's it. That's the only way we do it.
Good. So get on the phone. I told people, I said, set your phone so that it has, hey Siri, set my alarm to go off at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Right? I turned on your radio interview with Kevin Krylar.
Oh, I have an interview. So I'll have to change that to another time.
The point made though. Well, I got to tell you, I'm really excited to have your beautiful smile on here and that you are smiling. It's good to have you here with us, Mark. Tina, I will give you the last word and then I will let you both get to getting. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the friendship and I'm grateful for the sacrifice that you both have made over the last 6 years.
I think I've said it all. I really do. I'm very grateful to the people that supported me, Joe and Mark, the people out there that prayed for me, that supported me financially. This is my job. This is it. and I've always, being a business owner, I don't need to be told what time to get up in the morning and what to do and that sort of thing. I get about 4 hours sleep a night and I get things done. I know how to budget my time. I know how to prioritize. This is my job. And there's people that have, just like I met with some people for lunch today, and they said, well, we just don't feel like we're doing enough, but they are. They're doing things, and I won't say their names because they're amazing, amazing patriots. In their way, they have contributed in a way that I would not necessarily be able to enable me to do what I do. And so everybody can do something. They can't get us all.
No, they can't. And I don't even care if they do get me, because if God put us on the path, and you just gotta, you gotta serve. I think that 1 John 3:16 is the other John 3:16, super important. It said God gave up his only begotten son, so we should be willing to lay down our lives for our brothers. And the brothers meaning the Greek word that relates to our brothers and sisters. So laying down for our countrymen, laying down for humanity, laying down for what's good and rejecting what is bad.
And my son had a thing tattooed. He had the bone frog on his side, and it said, "Destroy all that is evil, so that which is good may flourish."
Amen.
And I think that's what we need to do. We need to come up against the evil aspects of our society, and just remember, evil and good are not equal. God is greater than all, and so we've already won. We just need to walk it through.
I agree.
And it's going to determine your placement. This is kind of an audition. This life is
life is a
it
test.
really is an audition to see if you can be trusted and if you will embrace the purpose that you were sent to this earth to do. Every single person has a purpose. We're not just cows eating grass and we die, and every single person has a purpose. When you tap into that purpose, you will feel so joyful, and it just, I can't even describe what that feeling feels like. You guys know, when you know what your purpose is, nothing can scare you, nothing can dissuade you from it. You walk through fire for it, and you know that you won't be burnt. It makes you fearless and untamed.
Yeah, untamed. Always untamed. Well, Tina, thank you. Mark, what do you got, brother? Keep doing it.
Absolutely. Love you, Tina. Good to see you.
Go to Hershey's Park. Just so you know, while you're there, like I just kind of go to Hershey's Park. Get us some Hershey's Kisses.
Mm-hmm.
See you guys later.
See ya. Tina,
God
I'll talk
bless
to you
you
later.
guys.
God bless you.
All right, sounds good, my friend.
Two of my favorite people. I watch what Tina's doing, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Still very protective. I'm still very protective of Tina. And there's a lot to still be done. Tina said something interesting. She said, we already have the information. And, but God, they would try to hide it. And we're okay. It's all going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Tina's okay. It was a time that she was in jail for like a year, and I just got on one of the podcasts, and I was so upset. And President Trump was in office, and I had been told, you have these people that call you, and they say, hey, this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen, everything's going to happen. And I felt like I had it. I was like, I called Tina, and I talked to Tina regularly while she was in prison, and I was like, Tina, and one of the things that I couldn't do is, one, I would set up to go visit her, and then it didn't happen. And part of that is because I really don't know if I could have dealt with Tina being in prison, like watching her having to be in prison. And but she is, I would call and talk to her, and I'd say, hey, look, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen this week. It's going to happen this week, which is a part of the punishment because you anticipate it. And then to see what the appeals court in Colorado did, basically just standing on the throat of truth and not even addressing it, I find appalling. I find everything that they've done in the state of Colorado to be quite sickening, actually. But they're sick people. These are really, really sick people. So if we get to the bottom of the election stuff, everything else will kind of take care of itself. So we're gonna pray it out from here. Just thanks for spending so much time with us. I really appreciate it. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. We know that, but God, we know that at the end of this whole deal is, look, we're supposed to warrior up. By the way, I got a bunch of messages from a guy that's just talks trash about everybody, and he threatened to kill me. And so I told him to meet me. He says he's on our side. He attacks everybody. He attacks Noel Finch and everybody. Now, what do we got here? Victor Marks sending out his henchmen to plan Republican gatherings in counties so they do not live in, and standing out publicly insisting that long-time Republicans leave the party for not supporting Victor Marks. Yeah, because he's a piece of shit. Victor Marks is a piece of shit. He's just a bad guy, right? I'm not standing on the side of the devil, and I said this before. I'm not standing on the side of the devil for a minute, and you're not using God's name and then using the tactics that they're doing in order to bully people in the community for not standing up for them. Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen today or ever. And so people are resigning. The Republican Party lost more people in the last 3 months than they've lost in the last 2 years. You know why? Because they stole that election too for the state chair. And the reality of it is the election system was designed to defraud people. 13 points that Karl Marx overcame, and it wasn't true. It wasn't true. It was not true. Not true. So I'm going to support Greg Lopez. I'm going to suggest that Republicans in Colorado support Greg Lopez. I'm going to suggest that Democrats support Greg Lopez. It's time to get away from the henchmen on both sides of the aisle that have done nothing but betray and steal from the American people. And they have stolen from you in Colorado. They have stolen everything you have. And the reality of it is that Victor Marks can't fog a mirror when it comes to actually doing good work or understanding the complexities of what happens in the state of Colorado. He just can't. And you can have your opinion. I mean, I'm arguing with someone right now that said, hey, Joe, you have your opinion on Dan Bongino. Not everybody does the same things the same way you do. It doesn't matter. He does nothing but bully and intimidate. And by the way, just so we're clear, I called it at the beginning of this show. At the beginning of this show, I called it. I called it that there would be more bullies from this little club, this club for Dan Bongino. You had Sean Farish, who left his job with whatever TV that was to go work with Dan Bongino. And then this just happened. This just happened. It just happened. Let me see if I can get back to it. Yep. Let me just go ahead and put this out there for you. Man, can I get to it? It's not going to let me. Oh, yeah, here. Just do this. Go to this. It's the very top one. She blocked me. I just put it up there. I told you it was going to happen. I told you Dan Bongino was going to call his friends and say, and it's even more than that. Go to the very top of her deal. Go to the very top of her deal, because they're building a new conglomerate of people, right? They would follow this person. Declassified with Julie Kelly. She's never been classified in anything in her life. Her husband's a lifelong Democrat. And by the way, they've made money off lobbying and changing laws that feed their pockets. Oh, but don't just trust us, bro. Trust us, bro. Trust us, bro. Remember, Dan Bongino endorsed her husband. He's a Democrat. You can say whatever you want. Don't tell me you stand on the side and you're going to support what are you doing? No. Please give Liv a follow. She's an outspoken fighter who wants to help stop Chicago's decline. Oh my gosh. Give her a follow. Build your club. Build the club that under whatever circumstances. Now, here you go. Ready? Here you go. I made numerous appearances on Dan Bongino's show over a period of a few years to discuss the plight of J6ers. His platform was crucial in informing the public about what was happening. The suggestion that he is now calling J6ers babies that were post aimed at one J6er is nonsense. And then, of course, is going after Brandon Straka. This is what they do. This is what they are. They are controlled opposition. They come in and they want to destroy the people that are doing the work. Brandon Straka did the work. He had lawfare on 3 points. I have lawfare all the time. They wanted to destroy my reputation. Julie Kelly's done nothing while she stood up for J6ers. So did like 30 million Americans. Yeah, they put their money where their mouth was too. Show me the donations Julie Kelly made. I feel like we should call her Oprah Kelly, where she gets out there and says, give money, give money, give money, while giving nothing. That's the problem with these people. I told you it was going to happen. I told you that the little clan, the little club is going to get together and they're going to start mean girling against Brandon Straka. It's crap, man. These aren't real people. This is not real life. Real life is that you pay the price and you have consequences for your behavior. That's real life. That's real life. Con Gino, yeah. Con Gino. That's a good way to put it. And Con Kelly. We'll just call her Oprah Kelly. Let's call you Oprah Kelly, Julie. You already blocked me. It doesn't matter to me. But I expected you to come after Brandon Straka. Right? Next thing you'll know, they'll pass it down, and this person, whatever this other person that she says, you need to follow this person. But they're not falling for it. They're tired of it. The only people that are actually understanding that these people are not a subset of the very people that have stood in our way are the retards out there that think somewhere along the line that the people aren't going to have an influence. Brandon does rock. I appreciate you, D-Lady. He does rock, for sure. Vote Greg Lopez. Yes. All right. Let's pray it out. Like we have got to get to truth wherever it is. And look, truth is hard to swallow. I will tell you, it's hard to swallow. Hard to swallow. All right, let's pray. Father God, thank you for Tina. Thank you for the path that you have put people on, putting Tina on, putting Mark on. Thank you for the sacrifice they have made. Thank you for your arms being wrapped around them and keeping them safe. Thank you for the opportunity that you've given Tina after she got out of prison. Thank you, Father, for President Trump. I forgot about that video about a young girl that saw this vision of Trump and where it's going to take us in 2026. And I truly believe it. And I believe that there are people that are just doing the Judases and the Brutuses, people that are doing bad stuff against our country and are just desperately trying to push us back into a place. And we can see it every day. We can see the constant grooming that happens in classrooms. We can see that, but we can also see that the bow is breaking. It's breaking. We're getting to a place where we have absolute ability to restore you to our communities, our countries, and the very way of life, everything that we do, to make you the center, Father, to make the ability to get back to goodness in our country the thing that we can pursue. We know, Father, it's going to take work. And so as we watch what Tina and others do, as we fight, Father, I just ask you give us cover, that you change the minds of those people that have been fooled, and you stand in opposition and you break down the barriers that allow for team evil to put obstacles in front of us. Father, I just ask that we can run through them, that we can get rid of the machines, the mail-in ballots, that we can hold people accountable for the bad things that they have done to our country, to our children, to our grandchildren, to people that died during COVID when they used this diabolical weapon against the American people and against people all over the world. And Father, as we sit here and have a conversation about how short-sighted it would be to just look at the United States, I ask that we actually have the same ability to stand up against team evil in every country, that we can shun them and shut them out. And we know that vengeance belongs to you, Father, but we ask that consequence be the thing that drives accountability in our communities and resets the obligations that have been put before us that are just not real. We know that we are being fooled and given lies over and over and over again. So, Father, we just ask that you give us the tools, the ability, the courage, the commitment, the stamina to stand up and just destroy, Wreck-It Ralph, all the things that have pushed you aside and replaced in our communities the truth with lies. Father, we are grateful for the time to be born at a time such as this, and we are grateful for just the many blessings, the things that we get to see every day. And we ask you, Father, we lay this before you and say, send me. I say these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Jeff, this has been a beautiful show, a beautiful reminder of what it's like to serve the Lord and accept our calling. Stand strong, brothers and sisters. No sitting down. I'm sitting down right now. I'll stand up here in a minute. Gorgeous George says, no, it was my nickname in the military. Also, Georgie girl. Okay. All right. God bless you, Susan, the good Susan Rice. And John Lyon, amen in Jesus Christ. Amen in Jesus Christ. Absolutely. All right. And Jeff says, and for all to know, it's still a powerful reminder. I still carry my coin is sitting right over there right now. Pray, stand, speak, act. I play golf with that, right? By the way, I put this where my putter, and everyone always walks over and says, what is that? And I'm like, this is a coin. It's a constant reminder. Now, the one I have in my golf bag is the Gideon 300. It is literally Judges 7, where it says in there that we must stand strong, keep our eyes on, look around, make sure they're always present. And so I say this as I say, President Trump is an amazing man. He's done amazing things. And I will tell you that we are not to just blindly follow. We are to create friction, because that's what you do when you're following strong leaders. You create friction to make sure that there's not people pushing them off target, and that does happen. All right. Gammy says, Untamed Joel play for Gator as he recovers from surgery. Gator, where's Gator at? Is he in there? Is he in the comments? I didn't see him. We'll be praying for Gator. Gator, we pray that you, Lord, I just ask that you lift up Gator. He's been with us for many years, and I just ask that you just heal him and bring him to a place where he can just get back to the way it was before, before we had any injury or issue. So I say these things in Jesus' name. Okay. All right. God bless you guys. I'll see you. Kidney removed today. His kidney removed today. Oh my gosh, it's kind of a big one. Okay. Gator, we got you, brother. All right. Everyone else pay for Gator as well. All right. God bless you. See you soon.
Rise up untamed in the heart of the fight where the wild ones roam. Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Break the mold, chase the real, no more games, time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew. Truth matters through and through. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave